Traveling around the country, talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King say, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I see as Dr. King went on, another man stepped into the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God done smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. Yeah. One more time. I want to say it real slow. I'll say God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Pick it up. Then I went on by backstage at the Apollo Theater and I saw a man come out. They call him the King of Soul, James Brown. And James Brown said, Reverend, don't you worry. I started out as a shoe shine boy. I started out as a convict. I started out uneducated. But I learned to sing my song. And I sung it all over the world. I told him it was a man's world. I told him about the big payback.
Day, July the 15th. Do you know what time it is? It's Sharpton's time. And for the next 3 hours, it's time to put aside all pretenses, deception, denial, or fronting. The time has come to keep it real on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. A very good afternoon to you all across the country. And good morning to our West Coast listeners. Welcome to those on Sirius XM, Channel 126, The Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. I'm coming to you live from our National Action Network corporate headquarters in New York. And for the next 3 hours, you can call in and be heard nationwide in every state, every region of the country, All you have to do is call us at 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. And already people are going to our live stream and giving us greetings on the message page. James Thomas saying, good afternoon, Reverend Sharpton. Good afternoon to you, James. Cassandra D., hi, Reverend Al. Hi back to you. Sharon Peterkin, good afternoon, sir. Reverend Gaylon saying, Rev, all right. A lot of us already on our message board. And so you can communicate and be heard either by posting on the message board or by calling on the toll-free number. Let me give you some highlights of my concerns today. The Supreme Court yesterday, this is extremely important. A lot of people miss this. The Supreme Court yesterday greenlit Trump's plan to gut the education department. Mass layoffs can happen since the court ruling. The Supreme Court has allowed the Trump administration to proceed with firing over 1,300 education department workers, slashing the agency's workforce nearly in half. Supreme Court says that they can restructure. There's nothing that prohibits the president from doing it. Now, key functions like student loans management, grant programs, civil rights enforcement are being outsourced to other agencies like Treasury, Labor, and the Justice Departments. And experts and advocates are warning that will delay aid from those departments. Second thing I want to put on your mind is inflation. U.S. inflation accelerated in June as Trump's tariffs pushed up prices. Inflation picks up steam. Consumer prices now, that's you and me, rose by 2.7% in June, the fastest pace in 4 months. It is all with him threatening these tariffs and throwing tariffs on countries, and they'd raise the prices. Inflation went up. Now, this is the man that ran against inflation. Then we see that the Democrats hit the whole Epstein thing, saying that Trump is the one that made this an issue. His followers are the ones that made this an issue. And we need to deal with this issue of Epstein. Where are the files? Why did y'all make it an issue? And why are we not getting the release of the files? This is the first time there's been some breakup even in MAGA world, because some of them got a lot of traction and wealth, made money off of the conspiracy that elite Democrats were sex trafficking minors and engaging in pedophilia with Epstein's Island, and that he had a guest list. And this went on for years. Now all of a sudden, Trump's in office, and after all of these guys, right-wingers, were saying this, well, all of a sudden there's no guest list. None of that's true. And they're the ones that have said it. And everyone's saying, well, wait a minute now. We've seen video and pictures of Trump with Epstein down. So are y'all hiding something because Trump's name may be on the guest list? What's going on? And I think Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez said it best. Why would we be suspicious of a man convicted of such sexual assault. That, of course, being tongue-in-cheek. Of course, his background would say he wouldn't be adverse to certain things. So, a lot to talk about. The Epstein files, and not out of a gossip way, just out of how you can demagogue and make hay out of things until you get in power, and then all of a sudden, no, that didn't happen. Like he was crusading on birtherism, that Barack Obama wasn't born here until he got in office. So we need to talk about all that. We need to talk about the Department of Education. Now they've given the Supreme Court, stacked Supreme Court, giving them the right to just fire people at will. And we need to talk about whatever else is on your mind. I know a lot of people are talking about how Andrew Cuomo is saying he's going to stay in the race for New York mayor, which many say will mean that Eric Adams is going to have a hard time trying to keep that seat. Sharon Peterkin is saying, Reverend Sharpton, keep doing what you're doing. We all need your leadership. Thank you, Sharon. I'm going to keep trying and keep supporting us. And I think that it is important that we understand these issues impact all of us. So I want to talk about all of this today. I want to stay on top of all of the issues and items because it affects us. If inflation goes up, that's harder for those of us with fixed income or those that are barely making it, because now with prices going up, it is even more of a burden on. So these are real things that reach you and I. Just people talking about, I don't like politics. You live politics every day. Politics decide the price of bread in your house. So stop playing yourself. Stop fooling yourself. We are into politics. The question is, are we exercising and protecting our political right to have some say-so in it? But we in it. Clothes you wear, the apparel has to be approved by government for it to be sold. Groceries you buy, Food, Drug Administration approves all the products on the shelf. All that's politics. So you think you're sounding rebellious. I'm not into politics. You sound ignorant. Stand up there with government-approved apparel on your back, with a bag full of government-approved groceries, getting in a car that was approved by government inspection, putting in gas that government had approved, a gas going in your tank, pulling up to your house that government gave the mortgage rates to banks. And you sit up there like you smarter than us talking about I ain't into politics. Okay. Alex Shantzis, that's Z-I-S, I'm trying to get it right, says, thank you, Reverend Sharpton. Your voice is clear and on point, and we are lucky to have you. Well, thank you for that. And I'm going to keep trying to do what I do. Let's get ready to take a break, and I'm going to go to the phones, and I am going to keep reading the message board. Stay with us. A lot to talk about. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm
1968. Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
I have a dream today.
They can't kill the dreamer.
So who is Al Sharpton anyway? Who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I
a race
had to
baiter.
learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing and I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that call me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustler and all, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell. a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor, who stayed right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them. Now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that I first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old with the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
One year ago and change, 67 weeks ago, we started marching every Thursday, am I right, on the offices of Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman was the architect of ending DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. He started it. I want to give a little history because a lot of people get Negroitis and get confusion. I don't even mind your ego. Everybody need one, but you don't have to become contrary and duplicitous. We got to have integrity even among those with ego. So we started when they first came out against DEI. Now Ackman and them started it going at Harvard University, forcing out the first black woman and first black president of Harvard. We went to his office and been going 67 weeks. I went first 10, 12 weeks. And this brother, stand up, Reverend Ron McHenry, coordinator House of Justice. This brother has been there every week. Many of you here in the audience have marched every week. So we didn't just get in this. We were in it the day they came at Claudine Guy. Last year's convention, we dealt with DEI. This year we said that we're going at these corporations that had come out against DEI. Many of you, most of y'all I'm looking at was at the convention. And we hit Pepsi. Pepsi called and said, all right, we 8-9 days in, we agree to meet. And we went, purchased New York, chairman of our board, Reverend Dr. W. Franklin Richardson, and Carol Wallace, who's a special advisor to us on finance, and laid out to them that one, we don't care what you call it, DEI, IED. Y'all are gonna keep your commitments in terms of the black community. And that means we don't want special privilege, but we do not want to be specially excluded. This is not about we don't want merit. We feel if our people are at the table, we can beat anybody on merit in many cases. So we want from employment to your board, to how you deal with marketing, to who does your financial investment. We want to go across the board with that. Otherwise, if you don't want to deal with the question of diversity in how you do your business, then don't deal with diversity in your consumer base, because you don't believe in diversity. So we just will try to remove all the dollars we can from buying your stuff. In fact, keeping it real. I'm your host, keeping it real, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Let me say by way of announcements, don't forget to watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. every Saturday and every Sunday. It is imperative that you stay involved and informed. Too many of us act like we got to take the weekend off. Well, Trump's not taking weekends off. Even while he's golfing, he's sending missiles to places. He's presiding over what they're going to respond to with floods. You need to stay on top of the issues as it relates direct to you. And that's what we do every Saturday and Sunday on Politics Nation. And I have on guests that's in the middle of what's happening and challenge them on why certain things are happening and making them inform you on why other things are happening. I don't waste your time. I would not be doing something every Saturday and Sunday if it was not worthwhile. So make sure you and encourage all of your friends and family. Watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC every Saturday and Sunday. As I know it's Tuesday and I'm already working on the right guest for this weekend. Make sure you tune in. Then you that are in the New York, New Jersey, and vicinity area, Connecticut, Long Island, meet me or beat me to the Saturday Action Rally at the House of Justice in Harlem, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue in the village of Harlem. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We have our rallies. I'm there this Saturday. We inspire each other. We talk about the issues. I give the message of the week. You've not experienced anything like it till you come to the Saturday Action Rally. House of Justice, 145th and Lenox Avenue. For you that are not in the New York region, you can watch it live on Impact Television. And all roads lead to New York for the March on Wall Street. Texas Commissioner Rodney Ellis was here at National Action Network Corporate this morning. He's arranging people coming from Houston. He's a commissioner there. He's a member of our national board. And as he was pointing out, black folks have not led a mass response to any of this since Trump was in. There's been marches on immigration. There's been and they should be. Marches on deportation, and they should be. Marches on Tesla, and they should be. But where do we make our statement? Well, we make it August 28th. That doesn't mean only blacks can come. Anybody can come. But this is black-led around our concerns. Why are you going to Wall Street, Reverend Al? It's the anniversary of the March on Washington. Because the March on Washington in 63, when Dr. King talked about he had a dream, and in it he said his dream is that one day his 4 little children will not deposit in the bank of justice and it returns insufficient funds. That was part of the economic problem. The economy now is controlled on Wall Street. They're the ones that bankroll as president. They're the ones that got the tax cut that will pay for the cuts in Medicaid and in SNAP. So we going to where the people are. We're going to meet 10 a.m. at the African Burial Ground and march 1 mile to the Bull, right, the center of Wall Street, and have our rally. Now, it's the Thursday before Labor Day. Most folks getting ready to take off anyway for a long weekend. Started by making a stand. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and sign up for you to get the bulletins every week. We're about 6 weeks out. This is imperative. We have not made a statement, a collective statement. And you should join me and Martin Luther King III and many of our labor unions and many of our churches. I had a Zoom call last night. Over 360 pastors got on the Zoom. I told them about the march. I told them about this IRS ruling now that allowed churches to endorse candidates, what it means, what we need to be careful of. We're organizing every day. I have another Zoom call tonight with Seventh-day Adventist pastors, working night and day because it is serious where we are. All right, let's go to the phones. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go to Brooklyn, New York, to Rachel. Rachel.
Hi, Reverend Al. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I could be better. I called you last week when we were having the rally in front of 350 J Street, Eric Gonzalez, the Brooklyn VA's office, because we're having a big problem, Reverend, and we're hoping that you could use your platform to help us.
Yeah, I told you to call us. I told you to call us so we could arrange to do that, and you did not do that. I asked them when I got up there, where's the number? They said you never called.
Okay, I will call. I will stay on the phone.
I cannot do this on the air. I mean, I got 30 callers, and I'm sitting in the studio. I can't take notes and do that. That's why if you call them, get the number. I have somebody call you, and then we can arrange for you to use my platforms. I'm concerned about what you're saying.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Lloyd in Dallas, Texas. Lloyd, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
No, Reverend Sharpton, how are you?
I'm doing all right.
I just got to ask, these executive orders that the president handing out, first, can they be repealed or do they last the term of his administration? The next administration coming, can they be repealed? And the next thing is, I have a slogan for a platform for the Democrats. I know you get a chance to interact with a lot of the people at the highest level, and it's something I'd like them to consider. It's called the 3 R's. You know, I'm 64 years old. When I grew up, they was teaching us the 3 R's in school, but it was for reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now, the 3 R's, I think, need to be considered is repeal, replace, which one of your previous callers threw out the first two a couple of weeks ago, and I thought I'd add, and restore. So we can repeal some of these policies. We could replace the people who voted and went along with them, and we could try to restore dignity and integrity into the Oval Office as well as across this country. I'll hang up and listen to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I like the slogans, and I think that you're right. And I think some of it can be repealed with a new president. Some, it will take a new Supreme Court, which means you're going to have to wait until some of these justices resigns for one reason or another. Some of this stuff is going to take a while because of the Supreme Court. Let me go to Demetrius in Cleveland, Ohio. Demetrius.
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break first, Demetrius. We're right on the break. I'll come right back to you. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back. I had a thought this morning that I want to share with you about mentorship. I am able to do a lot of what I do because I had great mentors, but there are correct ways and incorrect ways to mentor people, in my opinion. I was mentored as a boy preacher by Bishop F.D. Washington, one of the great Pentecostal preachers of his time. Then Reverend William Jones became my pastor after Bishop Washington died, who was unquestionably in the top 5 black church ministers, theologians. Reverend Jesse Jackson, who I started my activism under his leadership, he and Reverend Jones. And I learned politics directly as a youth director from Shirley Chisholm. So even though I didn't finish college, I had the most unique education in the world from being exposed to giants. But the one thing I learned is as I grew older and people started coming younger than me and wanted me to teach and mentor them, the magic of the mentors I had is they did not want me to be their clone. They wanted me to learn things from them and use my own gifts and talent in my own unique way and let me do things on my own, because they knew that if I flopped in some things, it would teach me for the other things. They'll come and help me once I was down, but they were not going to have me avoid being down. And they were not going to impose themselves on me. Why am I saying that? Because too many mentors want clones, and too many mentees want their mentors to put them on a pedestal. Oh, so-and-so didn't do this for me. Oh, so-and-so didn't open doors for me. If they got to open doors for you, It may mean that they knew you weren't ready to go through those doors. Their job is to prepare you. Your job is to develop your own skills, your own unique ways. And I don't care if it's my daughters, who both have come into their own, or anyone else. I'm not a talent agent. I did not form National Action Network to give people their step up. I formed it to fight for justice for everybody. If talented people get in, it's my job to invest and give them a platform. It's their job to get on the platform and perform and show their ability. Sitting with me today in the office as I talk about is one of my mentees, Reverend Stephen Marshall. Now, Stephen, you just came around us when you were how old?
11 years old.
11 years old. You just turned 40 and now you're called to the ministry?
Yes, sir.
And what do you do in National Action Network?
I help formulate policies, lead in various regions, but most importantly, I senior advise you on all things from social justice strategies, politics, intergovernmental affairs, you name it, community organizing, all of that stuff.
And I could go through scores of others. My daughter started Huddle. They got Huddles now, which is for young people to meet once a week all over the country. I just saw the video from the Las Vegas National Action Network chapter. Now, when you decided to preach, did I ever tell you to become a preacher?
Not one time.
Who called you to preach?
The Lord.
All right. And did I say go to this school or that school?
No, sir.
Did I open this door, that door? Did I tell you be ready when the door's open?
Always be ready and prepared.
And that's what I'm saying. Get you some young people than you that you can help along the way. But don't be their talent agent. Their talent must speak for themselves. And anybody that grumbles with you about so-and-so didn't do something for them, maybe it's because they didn't feel you were ready, or that they felt if they did it, you wouldn't do it on your own. But we all don't live forever. I want the next generation to speak of me, of National Action Network, and others, the way I speak of Reverend Jones and Bishop Washington and Shirley Chisholm and Reverend Jackson. But I just don't want young people to feel that somebody ought to give them the reins of leadership or give them the reins of business or whatever it is you're in. You need to learn from their journey, get the pearls of wisdom from them, but don't have them do for you, because then it means you can't do it for yourself. You got to be the new thing. This is not about likes on Facebook. This is about changes in our society. We got a hostile bigot in the White House, and we don't need a popularity contest. We need people that are grounded and rooted in this and gonna fight with all they got. Jesus went up on the mountain and told his disciples, Reverend Toon said, y'all pray with me. They went to sleep. And when they looked up, they say that he had gone up on the mountain. They termed transfiguration. Is that in the book? And he was talking to Moses and Elijah. If Jesus had to talk to those that preceded him, then how you so brilliant you ain't got to talk to nobody? So as we embark on dealing with this DEI fight, I wanted to read, I studied all week, what would Dr. King be saying? What would Reverend Jackson be saying? That's what we do. This ain't a Sharpton thing or whoever thing. This is a thing in continuity. If Dr. King can shut down the Montgomery bus boycott when we couldn't even ride the front of the bus, if Jesse Jackson could take on major corporations before we had cell phones, then we in our day can take these companies that want to say no DEI and shut them down, because we come out of a tradition and a lineage that can do that.
Thank you for joining us for Weekdays Live with Reverend Al Sharpton. Take the time to share this broadcast right now. Tell your friends it's time to keep it real with Reverend Al. Comment your questions now in the chat or call Reverend Al Sharpton directly on air at 877-532-5797. Now stay tuned for Reverend Al.
This is Reverend Al Sharpton. As you watch the broadcast, support National Action Network. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and be involved. You can join, take your membership right online, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Getting ready to start the program. 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. Let's go to Demetrius in Cleveland, Ohio. Demetrius.
Hey, thank you, Reverend Sharpton. It was nice talking to you. I just want to comment quickly on a few subjects concerning the decision the Supreme Court passed down yesterday. I look at it as being outrageous because, to pass the buck on to the various departments in the government that will delay, the service being provided, to the students and to the different cities that depend on federal aid, especially when it comes, to school lunches. A lot of children depend on those meals. When it comes to applying for financial aid, to go to college, but also to get grants so they won't be in debt with financial aid. And to me, a lot of communities, especially out, in a rural area, they depend, on funds being given to them equally, especially when it comes to minority groups, because, to depend on the state to divide funds up equally, you haven't proven to be just in the past, going back to segregation. You had a lot of communities that was denied before the Brown versus Board, even after that. Because a lot of black communities wasn't getting the same quality of books, the same materials when it comes to science classes, dissecting for different experiments. So that's why the Department of Education was established to make sure that all students throughout the country have the same quality of education, and to dissect and to destroy that branch of the government. The Department of Education is really suppressing people for getting proper education equally around this country, no matter what race they are. And when it comes to the terrorists, especially with Donald Trump, want to put extra tariffs on countries who still do business with Russia, the American people is going to pay for that, because a lot of these countries trade with the United States, and the tariffs are already having effects on some goods here in America. Prices are going up, and to put more tariffs on other nations, because he want to use it as ammunition to try to sway countries to agree with him is not fair to the American public. And also, when you spoke on concerning people should get involved in politics, that I agree with that. Because politics, affect people everyday life, and if people concentrate on what's going on in the political system, and don't get too much involved with social media as they do, especially the gossiping part. It's okay to be involved with social media, but just to be strung on gossip media just to find out, about what people are doing, and just to pass one message on to the other. You should really be educated about the political system, about the criminal justice system, and about the educational system, because we're really under attack, and we got to really arm ourselves and come together before it's too late, because a lot of these entitlements to be taken away, it'll affect people who not really involved when it comes to their food stamps, when it comes to the grants, when it comes to education, when it comes to housing, when it comes to different programs that provide people, to buy furniture, for their homes. When it comes to reentry, people out of prison. When it comes to, let's say, for education, so people have to really be on their toes with this and not be blinded by it, get caught up and other things that's going to go on no matter what. So their day-to-day lifestyle is in jeopardy. And also, I just lastly say Donald Trump, he met with some of the African countries last week. Now, some of the leaders of those countries were trying to say that he should be notified the committee that he should get the Nobel Prize. I don't agree with that because he's no man of peace, especially when it comes to the African nations. You haven't done anything for the African nations except trying to send immigrants over there, and probably paying some of those nations there to take the immigrants. But people with his mindset is the main reason why the colonialism prospered in Africa, and also when the slave trade was going on. And also he oppressing minority people here, the African people from the continent, brothers and sisters, and people from around the world. So he's no man of peace. He needs more of a man manipulating, and he just want to use African nations for their resources because China is there, some of the other nations. But he know he can't go there on a moral ground. He's trying to go there on a monetary ground, trying to buy loyalty. So those nations shouldn't even fall for the trick. They need to unify, like when Malcolm X was alive, he tried to unify the African nations and look at what's injustice going on in America. Same thing needs to be done now. The United Nations, especially African nations and other nations around the world, look at what's happening to the entitlements and what's happening here with immigrants being treated fairly and American people being taken advantage of and a dictatorship trying to be established. The Supreme Court is hand in hand with it, because they can't justify destroying the Department of Education because it was put there based on a Supreme Court decision, the Brown versus Board, make sure people have equal education. They won't have the department destroyed, going to other agencies. They won't have the time to do that because they specialize in Treasury, specialize in other titles that they have. They won't specialize in education. That'd be on the back burner. I believe that's exactly what Donald Trump wants, just to suppress some people for getting a proper education and move up in the system. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. That's very, very, very true what you're saying, and very important. Let me go to Brother Meach in Milwaukee. Brother Meach.
Hey, afternoon to you, Dr. Sharpton.
Good afternoon to you.
I'm blessed, man. Listen, I've been sitting and I've been listening and looking into this dismantling of the civil rights organizations in the school systems and so forth and whatnot. And I've got a good gander of this thing, Dr. Sharpton. And I'm looking at the civil rights thing. Now the thing is that our civil rights have been hijacked by illegal immigrants, or just say immigrants, and homosexuals, we'll just say gay folk. And I looked and seen who's doing the protesting. Who's actually doing the protesting. And I see nothing but white folk, white far left people that's actually protesting. There's some of us out there, but there has to be a purging because these people have actually hijacked what me and your grandparents and great-grandparents.
How do you feel that they hijacked it, Brother Meach?
Well, because they're utilizing the civil rights that were given to you and I.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're claiming they want civil rights for them. So when they're saying they want civil rights for LGBTQ people, that's not taking nothing from us. That civil rights.
Shouldn't that be a separate?
But you just said it was separate. You just said that it was separate. You said it ain't none of us out there.
No, I said they've hijacked what belongs to us.
But how? I'm asking you how.
Because they're utilizing through the word gender. They're utilizing
gender. Doesn't belong to us. Gender means anybody's sexual identity. That doesn't belong to us.
So what this Trump administration is doing, they going in and me and you, we gonna bite the bullet because we've allowed other people, not just them, man, not just them, to take advantage of what was given to us through the 14th Amendment. And guess what? They are utilizing it to the fullest, man, all the way down to the birthright.
Wait a minute. So you're saying that the 14th Amendment should only apply to us? Then it's not an amendment. Then it's not an amendment.
Well,
you cannot have a constitutional amendment for blacks only. Just like we wouldn't allow a constitutional amendment for whites only.
Okay, now that was good. And I'm not gonna get no tongue wrestling match with you because you know I ain't no match.
It ain't no tongue wrestling match. I'm saying we gotta be careful what we say. If we say that the 14th Amendment is a birthright citizenship, should only be for blacks, and they'll say, fine, then we could say so and so should only be for whites. And you can't then argue, no, we can't have racial discrimination. They say you just said it. You can only do the 14th Amendment.
Read it. What
for
about
blacks.
when you read it in the language? When you read it in the language, specifically says for freely released slaves
and people
black
that are
Americans.
born here, and people that are born.
That's correct.
But which includes other people. And why wouldn't we want other people to have the same freedom we want? So, in other words, we want only us to enjoy whatever it is in this country.
The reason why we want it because we've got real equity in this country. We got
but that doesn't interfere with our equity. How does that interfere with our equity? For people to have citizenship in this country does not have any way reduce our citizenship in the country. In some ways, it enhances it.
I tell you, these people that come into the country has not helped our citizenship or our numbers. They don't breed with us when they come into this country.
All right,
brother.
So let me ask you a question. Should Marcus Garvey have been a citizen? He wasn't from this country.
Yeah. You know what? Marcus Garvey put in the equity with us.
But if he couldn't have been a citizen, he couldn't have put equity in. You can't have laws that... No, let me go take my break. I'll take you right back after the break. Think about what you're saying. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, right after this.
Hello, New Orleans. Let me tell you straight. They did not think we could come and be here tonight. They cut budgets and advertising, but one black man, Rich Newton, has said, I don't care. My families come together every 4th of July weekend, and Essence will happen, because that's who we are. Give a big hand to Rich Newton for bringing us back. Of who we are is essential to what made this nation. We built this nation. We made this nation. We created the essential dollars that this nation lives off of. We don't care what bill they pass. We will not back up. We will not back down. We will not give in. We will not be chased out. We don't care in the White House. We gonna organize our house by house. We came over the Middle Passage. We survived slavery. We survived Jim Crow. Don't you give up now. Don't you turn back now. Stand up, black man. Stand up, black woman. Reclaim your dignity. Reclaim your place. So we stand with the Global Black Economic Forum. We stand with Essence Magazine because that's who we are. So don't give in now. Yes, it's some rough days, but we've been through rougher days than this. Yes, Trump is a bad dude, but we beat badder dudes than Trump. So let's party with a purpose, because our rhythm and our music reminds us who we are, because we can smile through our pain and organize for our gain. Let's stand up and let's celebrate who we are. Thank you, God bless you.
Look at the story. We celebrated Good Friday and Easter just a couple of weeks ago. Well, there's a message in that. I heard a preacher talk about this the other week. The thing that people forget, I want you to keep this in mind, is they crucified Jesus. Those of us that are Christian believe they hung him on a cross, maligned him, mocked him. Wasn't enough to nail him. They mocked him, saying, if you be the king of the Jews, step down and deliver yourself. Mocked him. Ridiculed him. He wanted water, they gave him vinegar. Crowned him with a crown of thorn. When they should be giving you your celebratory, they're going to give you some attacks. But the end of the story was they went and laid him in Joseph's tomb. Didn't even have a family tomb. Didn't have insurance like some of us. Laid him in a borrowed tomb. But the third morning, this is the story they tell. The third morning, when they came to where they laid him, he wasn't there. My message is to you today that don't let them catch you where they laid you. They may kill your name. They may crucify your character. They may tell you you are nothing from nowhere, but when they come to where they laid you, let you be gone on to somewhere else. I've been called everything but a child of God. They said I'd be nothing going nowhere. They castigated us. They called us troublemakers. They called us loudmouth. And when they came to see me go to jail, I wasn't there. They can catch me on MSNBC now. They can catch me leading marches now. I serve a God that not only will go through the crucifixion, but will bring you through the resurrection. We're going to resurrect in the city. Stand up, black man. Stand up, black woman. This is our time. No justice, no justice, no justice. What do we want? What do we want?
We are the sons and the daughters. We gotta stand up and make it loud. Just like our God told the Pharaoh, let my people go, go. We are a new generation from the ones who have come before. He's calling us into freedom. Let my people go, go. We never shine, never shade. Give me a papa gore, make the heavens. If you don't say you know what trouble, let my people go, go. The blood, sweat, and the tears that we gathered through the years. If you don't say you know what trouble, let my people go, go. Wade in the water, we did wade in the water too.
Rev, you know you were right there
From the beginning.
with the stuff that
Yep.
was going on in Brooklyn at
Yep.
that time, at
Yep.
Howard Beach. You
Yep.
were right there.
He had in one of the early movies, he had my name. Then he put me in Malcolm, and I wasn't even old enough to know Malcolm. So we've been through it all.
For those who see Malcolm X, it's 3 hours. But fast forward to the scene with yourself,
Yep.
Bobby Seale.
Right. Bobby Seale, Denzel, and me.
Yeah.
Denzel was on the set.
Now, let me ask a question.
Yep.
What was your weight on that scene?
I probably about 270. I was bigger then.
Yeah.
Still had the hair,
Yeah,
man.
you had the head on.
Yeah, it was
Denzel, yourself, and Bobby Seale.
yeah, all in one scene.
And also, there was no cut. So we went like this.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Only Spike could have done that.
It's my brother right here.
My baby.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn's in the house.
BK. There were many that were enslaved that left the plantation, said I'm free, and were recaptured and re-enslaved because the laws said that. Without them signing the laws that we fought for, how should we have gotten free?
Sharpton keeps it real.
Because you're raising things that you haven't thought out. There were slave rebellions that did. All right, then give me the answer. You haven't answered me yet. If you thought it out, give me the answer.
Asking the tough questions.
Well, see, here's the thing. I called him made a statement. Now you.
No, but I'm questioning your statement. You can question mine. You can question any statement I make. You can question any statement. Whoa. You can question any statement I make, but you cannot call here and tell me don't question the statement you make, brother.
Brothers gonna work it out.
Be a part of the conversation. Just keep it real. Live from the National Action Network corporate headquarters in New York, keeping it real. And now, America's #1 civil rights leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
You're live, sir.
Keeping it real, keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go back to Brother Meach in Milwaukee. Brother Meach.
Good afternoon. Thank you for holding me over, Doc, for a few minutes of fame. I appreciate you. Listen, you asked about Marcus Garvey. Marcus Garvey was a part of the struggle. He was a part of the equity that you and I.
Yeah, he was part of the struggle after he got here. I'm saying that he had to get here and deal with citizenship. You cannot have a movement and say this is for only us that were slaves.
Everybody else is saying it, but they're saying it silently.
Well, then you say it silently, all right? Yeah, I mean, you're trying to be slick now. Come on, Reach. If they're saying it silently, then you say it silently.
Listen, they don't hire us in their establishment.
That's a whole different subject. We're talking about what you said. You're changing, and we should be unified. But we cannot be unified and call on stuff that we know will turn around, one, and hurt other of our people from other parts of the world, and two, that will be a setup for them to turn around and do the same thing to us and say, fine, we'll get it to only blacks, and then we'll give whites only this by law. You sound like a Donald Trump follower.
Well, listen to this. Now I want to just divert a little bit because we're talking about...
No. You asked me to hold you over now. Now you want to divert. I got other callers. I can't let you do that. Thank you for your call.
Can I ask it?
Go to Charles and go ahead and ask the question. Go ahead, quick. Hello? All right. Meach was to dominate the show. Now, come on. I held you over on what you was talking about. Let's go to Charles in Maryland. Charles, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton. Charles.
Hello?
Yes. Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, my name's Tony, and I'm from Colorado Springs. I got an idea the other day, and I think you would be good to organize it. With all the ICE raids, we need a lot of people to confront them, and I'm talking like thousands.
Right.
And so what I've thought is if all the denominations can get together, Catholic, Protestant, Lutheran, and so on, and they can put thousands of people at these detention facilities and at these raids, I think it would help to defer them. We had the No Kings March a few weeks ago.
Right.
Well, the same response should be on these ICE raids. My opinion. This is the Gestapo. Okay, there's no other way to explain it, and the news agencies aren't promoting, doing nothing to compare to the Gestapo. Okay, and so I did a little bit of research, and I looked at Wikipedia on Steve, the guy who's running this collection of immigrants, and he's practically a skinhead, to be more to put it. And so we just need to come together as a nation. Come together as a nation. Come together as religions and fight this. We can't have 300 people fighting at these locations. We need thousands of people. Demonstrating at the ice places and so on. So and I was hoping maybe you could be to organize and get all the denominations together and go from there. In my local church, there used to be people who would picket the what do you call it, Planned Parenthood. If we can picket Planned Parenthood, we definitely should be able to let our presence be known and our ideas be known at these detention facilities, and also the collection of people.
Well, I think these are good ideas. Thank you for your call. But I think a lot of what we're going to deal with August 28th with the March on Wall Street. But I thank you for your call. Let me take this call with the ministers. I'm going to have Dominique sit in for a block or two, and I will be right back. Dominique, let's go to Charles in Maryland.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
All black people who live in this country have been in a situation where they give you part of freedom, give you a little bit of money, give you a little bit of prestige, have you on television, have you on the radio, to show you that they want you here, to do their bidding.
Ma'am, I got you turned down. Can you understand the word he's saying?
Destroying the planet.
You say no, right?
No.
And everything else.
Okay.
Let's fade him out, please.
I don't know what to tell you, ma'am. You sound like the person from Charlie Brown. All right, I'm turning you back up now.
Corner where we can't do nothing because we waited too long. I say this because I feel the pain and misery that blacks go through because I am black. So I'm saying again, our Sharpton, do something to help your people besides having demonstrations. Every time I have a demonstration, you are there. I don't know how much money you're making. I don't care how much money you're making. But I put it this way. If black people don't stand up, black men don't, we'll lose our women. Black men don't stand up and be a man, they're going to exterminate all of us.
No, I agree with you there. This is Rev's daughter. Thank you for your call, Charles. I agree with you there. We do need more men and women, excuse me, black men in particular, to stand up. So I hope that you are a black man who is committing to that stance as well, to join us in the fight for justice and for equality. We need you, brother, on the front lines with us. So I hope that you are not just going to commentate and sit there and criticize, those who are standing up. We believe in demonstrations. We believe that demonstration affect legislation. And if you don't believe that, that's all right too. But what is the alternative? Give us the alternative solution, and let's actually get further here having some more solutions on the table. I'm definitely down for those conversations, so let's bring it. Thank you so much for your call. Let's go to Anita, listening to us in Chapel Hill. Anita, you're keeping it real. Good afternoon.
Keeping it real. Someone like imitation. It's cute. I wanted to say, last time I talked with you, we had flooded here in North Carolina, again in Orange County and the surrounding areas.
Flooding here in New York and New Jersey last night, too.
Well, it's hitting everywhere. Who knows if we're going to start getting sinkholes? I'm very worried about that. But what I want, or even having a south, what I'm worried about is I went to a meeting this weekend, and they had it for housing. I'm trying to say this really fast. And affordable housing, okay, and the mayor of the town right next to Chapel Hill, which they coordinate student housing, was there. And I think they were talking about Democrats and what they're going to do. But from what I'm getting from the housing people, they're thinking that Tillis voting against Donald Trump is holding up FEMA also. So we really do need to consider a national protest in North Carolina since we have a Republican. I think he's a senator. That's terrible I said that, but I didn't vote for him. But anyway, here, so that we can protest it with a Republican. But another thing is, I had told you all that I thought it was 2.8 billion in the Orange County. It actually was 2.8 billion gallons of water that fell on Orange County. I thought that was correct because I also went to the flooding seminar they had this weekend where they had information about everybody who had flooded. And they also had the town meeting, too, there after they had the housing march for affordable housing. They had the flooding, so, where people could pick up information that had been flooded. And then they also had another town meeting at Chapel Hill. And I went there, and then, that's where the other mayor was there, and they were speaking. And they were very concerned about what's going on with Trump and getting money. And, of course, I had to stand up. And I told him about Reverend Al. I said, Reverend Al is don't be here, He's important. Hey, I tell him everywhere I go, he's important.
Yeah.
I said, he's going to help us, and forget all of this. Sure, you can stand up for education because they're worried about the education funds. They were worried about the FEMA coming here because of Trump's disappointment with Tillis. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. You guys are not going to stand up for this stuff? Are you kidding me? What if we have to evacuate all the students? How are we going to do that? Are you making plans for things? I mean, it's flooding here. 2.8 billion gallons fell on Chapel Hill, just Chapel Hill. Okay? So I just want you all to know, keep Tillis in mind.
Yes.
Okay? And Eric Adams and Malcolm X, I think they were for international commerce with African Americans, with other people. And we can't be stuck inside of America, and then we're in America, then they kill people in Minnesota. Come on,
right,
now.
Anita. Thank you so much. I know we hear that music, so I gotta leave it there. We're gonna take a break. Dominique Sharpton sitting in for the Rev, taking your calls across the country. You can join in on the conversation today. Call us at 1-877-532-5797, 1-877-532-5797. We'll be back with more of Keeping It Real with Sharpton. We'll be right back.
God has smiled on me.
the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King say, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I see as Dr. King went on, another man stepping to the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God done smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. One more time. I want to say real song. I'll say God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Pick it up. God has smiled on me. I feel it. Then I went on by backstage at the Apollo Theater and I saw a man come out. They call him the King of Soul, James Brown. And James Brown said, Reverend, don't you worry. I started out as a shoe shine boy. I started out as a convict. I started out uneducated. But I learned to sing my song. And I sung it all over the world. I told him it was a man's world. I told him about the big payback. I told him Papa got a brand new bag. And all over the world, they can hear my voice. But Reverend, don't you frown. Don't you bow your head. Tell him what you told me, Brother Brown. I said, now God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Yeah. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I went home and I told my mother what Brown told me. And she said, son, even though we don't have much, we don't need relief. All we need is belief. And she said, he didn't tell you no lie, because the Lord will take care of you. God sits high, but he looks down low. And every time you get discouraged, every time you're burning down, all you have to do is think of the things that God made a way for you and look toward the heavens. Lift your eyes to the hills and say, God, 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 don't smile on me. Now then, the God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. And that has been so good to me. Yes, he has. I say, God smiled on me. He has set me free. And I know all over the country, smile on me. We need jobs. We need a way to make it. We need help. We need jobs. We need a way to make some money to feed our families and raise our bread. We need a way to survive, so we don't need crime as a survival kit. We just need a little bit. But don't give the hope up. Don't lose the faith, because God will smile on you. God will give you the strength. God will make a way for you. Adam Great Powell said, keep the faith. Keep the faith, baby. I hear Robert Kennedy saying that it's not the dream of, but it's the dream that'll live on forever. Just know that God will smile on you. Dr. King had a dream. Dr. King said, I went to the mountaintop, but I didn't stop there. I looked over and saw the promised land. I hear Brother Malcolm saying, don't sit on the stoop. Stand up and be a man. Respect yourself. Be somebody. Then I hear the brothers in the Hispanic community say, I'm going to stand up and be a man. I'm going to do the best I can. I had a reaper say, I don't care what time some respect when you get there. Lord, your God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. You've been so good to me. Sit down. And as we move on in history, let us remember that if we look to God, God has the answer to all of our problems. God is still the same God he was years ago, and we can still make it. We can still hold on like Frederick Douglass did. We can still keep him on like Martin Luther King did. We can still ride on the way everyone that made it did. They didn't have much, but they had a whole lot of faith. They didn't have money, but they had a lot of determination. We know that God will look out for his children, that God will make a way out of no way if you just keep the faith and refuse to lose. And God will make a way, because God's children don't have color. God's children just have will. And I can still hear somewhere in my mind James Brown say, God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me sing here. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord. Smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. He's so good to me. Let me tell you, God has everybody sometimes. He has set me free. I feel so good. God has smiled on me. Oh yeah. Good to me. One more time. Yeah. Smiled on me. Every day of my life, I feel it. You give me strength and energy. Help me to sing. He's been good to me. Oh yeah. This is Reverend Al Sharpton of Brooklyn, New York. I've been traveling around the country talking to the radio announcers, the church people, and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955. Trying just to get
Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. And thank Dominique for sitting in for me for a segment. I'm back. And let's go right back to the phone. Let's go to we did Charles. Let's go to Tommy in Chicago. Tommy in Chicago, Illinois. You keeping it real with Al Sharpton. Is Tommy there?
Tommy? A pleasant afternoon to you. Can you hear me, Rev?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Watch this. Mercy, mercy, me. Things just aren't the way they used to be. Where have all the blue skies gone? Oil is upon our seas, and the fish are full of mercury. Oh, mercy, mercy me. Animals and birds that live nearby are dying. Talk to me, and maybe we can see what's going on. Once again, from the hallowed halls of not sanity, not insanity, but the halls of humanity, You live in the greatest country on the face of the earth. The hypocrisy of this country has brought us clearly to this point. This is not Saturday Night Live. This is not a joke. This is not a moment for you not to recognize and act like you brand new or you're slow. Now, anytime individuals is rubbing baby oil outside of P. Diddy's trial, and they can go through this man's background and give you everything that took place, everybody and everything, and then once again, Dr. King's voice echoes through the ages. Truth crushed down, rise again, and here comes Mr. Epstein from the grave. I just want to ask you people, if you think for any reason that the preamble said, we the people, in order to form a better government, close. Watch this. You keep talking. The only president in history from the moment that he took the microphone to this very day has encapsulated the entire imagination of not only the United States of America, but the world. So if it sounds like I'm preaching, it's because I listen to people like Reverend Al Sharpton. I lived the entire civil rights movement. I was alive when all of Jesse Jackson's seniors' children were born. And now I've served my country, and I've come back to tell America one simple thing. Are you a human being or not? And as I said to your screener, you just can't make this up. Goodbye.
All right. Thank you for your call, Tommy. Always good to hear Tommy's voice. Let me go to Ray in Cincinnati, Ohio, the Buzz. Ray?
My man. What's up, Rev?
Everything good. How you doing?
Pretty good. Rev, first of all, I talked to on our the Buzz, Coach Lincoln Ware. He had 4 state officials on, and I asked them, when it came to voting last year, I focused on the young vote, and I was saying that they have to bear some responsibility too, because first of all, a lot of them don't understand the functions of the Supreme Court, the House, and the Senate. And so, they were saying that the Democrats don't focus on their issues and concerns, and I told them, I said, the Biden administration, they wanted student debt loan forgiveness, and the Republicans scratched it. I mean, that would have helped a lot of young folks, and so it's almost like they were saying that, well, we're going to teach the Democrats a lesson and either not vote or vote for Trump. And I'm like, well, how are their lives now? Are they feeling the pinch now? And so a lot of these young voters, they're one-issue voters. And I'm like, how do you get the young folks to realize how important it is, to get control of the House and the Senate and Supreme Court, and maybe their questions and concerns would be answered. I don't really think they have a clue. So on this upcoming election, special elections or in the midterm, how do Democrats educate these young folks and let them know that the House is important, the Senate is important, and this next in the 2028 election, that's important too. So, my whole focus was, the Democrats lost, and then how are your lives now? Are you better off now? Now that Trump is in office, have you taught the Democrats a lesson by not voting? And what are you going to do in the future? So that was my, pretty much question
All
to
right.
them.
That is a good question.
So and they were just talking about some of the things that they did and want to do. And I told them, I said, you guys always come to the radio station with what we're going to do, what we need to do. actually come to the radio station and tell us what you've done.
Right.
You know,
And
then-
see, I think a lot of people, thank you for your call, a lot of people just have gotten away with saying things and never be challenged. I think that's why it's important what you say. On our message board, I see the Big Cheese says the young black vote is demanding reparations or no vote. Well, last year, the only candidate that I saw that had supported reparations was Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris ran. She came to National Action Network, and she, among all the candidates, other than Bernie Sanders the only one who wouldn't support reparations, supported reparations. Donald Trump didn't. So I don't know why, if Big Cheese, if what you say is so, then why did some young blacks vote for Trump? Either you don't speak for all young blacks or they got the wrong information, one or the other, because that's not true. Then you say they need, civil rights movement needs a backup plan. Civil rights movement always had a backup plan, but you got to tell us, it says the old civil rights boycott movement will not be effective without having an alternative backup plan. Which one are you talking about? The boycotts in the 30s, 40s, 60s? Which one do you call old? Because there's been all kinds of boycott plans, and they all had different backup plans. So be more specific, and we'll try to answer your question. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, 1-877-532-5797. Be right back.
$5,000. That's...
But anyway, who is this 33-year-old preacher without a church?
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me, and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They call me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I
a race
had to
baiter.
learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing. And I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are, and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that call me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustler and all, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been, over all of your years, such an extraordinary leader. You are a voice of truth, a voice of conscience, a voice of practicality around what we must address and what we can do. And I thank you so much for your friendship.
I remember that most of the youth around Al's age, he was about 12, wanted to be like Connie Hawkins, a great basketball player, legend, or Earl the Pearl, or Clyde Frazier. Al wanted to be like Adam Powell, a powerful preacher with a social justice gospel. He was very close to, at that time, to Reverend William Augustus Jones, powerful preacher and social justice advocate, and Reverend Gardner Taylor State right down the street, and Bishop Washington, whose church he came from, and Reverend Sandy Ray. He wanted to be like these giant preachers. He wanted them to have the edge, however, of the King's social justice dimension. He wanted to be like them, now he's one of them. Perhaps taller than most of them because of the risks he has taken and the reward God has given him with his gift. I remember so well that I first escorted him to jail. He was around 13 years old. With the jail fighting the ANP. He was in the lineage of our struggle. He grew up in it. We didn't just see him on TV one night. He didn't happen. He came bottom up, not top down.
Hello, New Orleans. Let me tell you straight. They did not think we could come and be here tonight. They cut budgets and advertising, but one black man, Rich Newton, said, I don't care. My families come together every 4th of July weekend, and essence will happen, because that's who we are. Give a big hand to Rich New Dennis for bringing us back. Why do we come? Because the essence of who we are is essential to what made this nation. We built this nation. We made this nation. We created the essential dollars that this nation lives off of. We don't care what bill they pass. We will not back up. We will not back down. We will not give in. We will not be chased out. We don't care who's in the White House. We will organize our house by house. We came over the Middle Passage. We survived slavery. We survived Jim Crow. Don't you give up now. Keeping it real, I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. Let's go back to the message board. I read a message from Musa Moses Balloon, and it says, I was with it all began. I'm trying to get the language right here. I was with it. I guess it was meant to say when it all began. On Saturday mornings at PS 175 School in Harlem, I respectfully ask, what did you deliver during the 8 years with the Obama administration? We delivered a lot. We delivered Affordable Care Act, which became law and is still a law, which disproportionately helped blacks that had no health insurance. We were able to renew the Voting Rights Act that was later challenged by Trump to knock down by his Supreme Court, but it was renewed under Obama. We did got the policing council that the President Obama put in that required police to have to wear cameras all over their cameras at all times, which had never been law. We were able to cut black unemployment in half. We were able to give more money to HBCUs. We were able to deposit more money in black banks. We got a lot done under Obama. And in fact, we got so much done under Obama. Not everything that we wanted, Musa, but we got concrete things done, so much so that Trump and them ran saying they wanted to undo what Obama did. So if we didn't get things done under Obama, there would have been nothing to undo. Now, did we get everything we wanted? No. But to say that the 8 years he was in, and he got a lot more done than what I'm saying. I'm talking about the things I was involved in and other civil rights groups was involved in. We got a lot done. Now, I would respectfully ask the reverse question. Those that said don't vote, stay out the system, and let's just demand to free the land, tell me what y'all got in the 8 years. See, I think a lot of people are criticized that just stand outside that never get anything done at all and been talking the same thing since I was a little boy. And those of us that tried to work outside in and outside out, try to get some things done because we care about trying to take care of our people suffering while we try to get the ultimate stuff done. But thank you for your question. Let me remind you, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time every Saturday and Sunday. 5 p.m. Eastern Time every Saturday and Sunday. Don't miss it. We had great 2 shows this weekend. We are gearing up for 2 more. It's too much happening for you to tune out. You need to tune in. Saturday Action Rally at the House of Justice is another thing you ought to tune into, and or be present if you're in New York, Connecticut, or New Jersey. Come over to Harlem to 145th Street and Lenox Avenue, 106 West 145th Street in the village of Harlem. 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I'm there every Saturday morning looking for you, and you. If you're not in New York, you can watch it live on Impact Television. And then don't forget Thursday, August 28th, the March on Wall Street, where we've got to go to Wall Street in big numbers, black-led. Hasn't been a real black-led march since Trump has gotten back in. And this is to demand that these private corporations understand that as they try to go at DEI and other things that benefit our community, that we can withdraw our dollars and use the fact that we hold political office to withdraw contracts. So one of the things, I don't want to give away my speech that day, but one of the things we need to talk about is that we need to talk about all these big companies that now are wavering on DEI. Well, then we should say everybody running for mayor in these cities should say that anyone that does not have a diversity, equity, and inclusion program should not have a city contract or a state contract or a county contract, because most of these businesses have to do that. So be with us. August 28th, 10 a.m., we meet at the African Burial Ground in New York and march 1 mile to Wall Street to the Bull. Buses are coming from all over the country. You that are interested in helping to organize or being there or wanting the information, go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. All right, let me go to Frank, my Ace Boone Coon on the west side of Chicago. He says it's the best side. Frank?
Yes, it is, Brother. Now, our pal. We don't just talk the talk. We walk the walk. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing just great. I got to disagree with my brother Tommy on this one right here. We are not the greatest nation on the earth. We have sat back and let evil take over our government, and it's destroying everything. That is not the greatest nation on earth. Reverend Al, let me ask you a question. The politics in New York, do the Democrats control everything, the governor in both houses, state houses?
The what now?
The politics in New York.
Yeah.
Do the Democrats control? I know it's a blue state. They control everything, right? The governor in both state houses, right?
Right. That's right.
Same to here in Illinois. And we're not the only one. I said this because we had Speaker Welch on. We even got a black Speaker of the House for the first time. Good man, strong man. Till he want to be on the right side of history, right? Doing the right things. He came on one of our other shows, and he was she wanted him to explain, you know what I'm saying, the reason why he's endorsing Juliana Stratton, our lieutenant governor, a sister, a real black woman. She's not black coded. She's on our side. And for everything he laid out, I agree with. And then he had the not the nerve, but he had the strength to say, let us know what they have done. They just passed our budget, and it totally funds our entire school system, education system, right? And he made a comment, to me, a mistake by saying that ain't so much that they can do. I said, no. Every time I catch them on the air, I'm grabbing their phone. I listen, and if y'all not doing this out there, something wrong with y'all. We're not gonna sit back knowing good and darn well. No, you saying something like that, if I'm concerned, that's like saying that's all we can do. I got you that phone, and he didn't take no phone call, but you know, if they wise and intelligent, if they didn't take no phone call, you know, at least stuck around to hear what any comment anyone had to say after left the air, right? So I laid it out. Mr. Speaker, I went just like this. I disagree with you, okay? You took care of our education system, fine. What about health care? What about universal basic guaranteed income that's going to keep people from turning to a life of crime to survive? Oh, that's coming. Now I said, Mr. Speaker, I know you hear me. Do you know that you have everything you need in this state to generate all the resources that you need, all the revenue that you need to do a universal health care for your citizens, a universal education K through 16 plus law school and medical school, and a universal basic guaranteed income? Mr. Speaker, do you know there will be enough revenues left over, resources left over to shore all of your pension plans, and you got chump change, you know what I'm saying, to spare? I said, Mr. Speaker, in this state, like any other state, our goods and service providers collectively do over 500 billion transactions a day. A day. A 0.03 to 0.05 transaction tax on all goods and services, not just a few of them, on all of them. So just be a pinch with general revenue to take care of all of that. So don't say the state can't do so much. Not any money you get from the government would be gravy money. Okay, I said, Mr. Speaker, we have turned total power over to the Democrats here. We dominate. You dominate both houses, hands down. You got the governor's mansion. If y'all do not do this, if you got a better plan, because what you just said, okay, you took care of education. What about what I just finished saying? This is what you need to do, and this is what we want y'all to do. And as far as I'm concerned, if y'all don't do it, I like all y'all, JB on down to you. We need to get candidates that would run on this platform that will protect us from this Trump effect. This will trigger a domino effect to all the rest of the blue states. And then it should trigger a domino effect to start flipping from red states to blue. People out there, if y'all live in a purple state or a blue state, now if y'all not letting y'all legislators know, we know what you can do to protect us from Donald Trump and what this evil man is doing. So don't say and don't act like you cannot act like, Mr. Speaker, that you are not aware of this, because all of us on WN are aware of it. And you think that we're not talking to those who not listen to WN, who think may not be listening to WN, think again, because we beating the drum and we putting the word out. We got to let them know what we want them to do, people. Y'all sit back and just waiting to see what they gonna do, and they not bringing forward nothing that's gonna protect us from all of this, and they easily can. I say I challenge anyone to come on this radio station and do any kind and tell me what you got against paying an extra 75 cents for a dozen of eggs when we already paying $4 to $5 more because what happened to the chickens? We're already paying $4 to $5 more, and the prices still ain't came down. What you got against paying? What problem you can have against paying an extra $1 for a ride share, and that's 75 cents or 50 cents, that is, for a loaf of bread. That's 30 cents for a Big Mac, knowing this is being used to protect us from everything this evil man is doing. Okay, right. No one came over the air. This is the plan. This will protect us. People, we got to stop being the dog that's being wagged by the tail and let these politicians know, especially in a state like ours, there's no excuse. Republicans can't stop us from doing anything. Now, am I right or wrong, Red?
You're absolutely right. And that's why I thank you. Go ahead, Frank.
Okay. Let me just say that if anyone got any other better plan that'll cover all this and protect us from this evil, okay, I want to hear it.
And that's all I'm saying. Thank you for your call. I'm saying the stuff from our rallying our community, organizing our communities and institutions, marches to raise focus, all of that is what has moved us down the road. Now, if others got a better way, say that. But just criticizing what has been done is not a plan. You might be a plant, but not a plan. You know, it's interesting to be, I saw somebody on message board say, a marching is played out. Well, then why is all the white folks marching? They just closed Tesla. They just got done what they wanted to get done with immigration. And you telling us to sit home and don't do nothing? Don't raise our issue. Everybody's marching. Maybe you ain't working for us. Or maybe you don't have us in your interest. Or maybe you're just emotional and haven't thought it out. I just thought I'd give you an answer. Let's take a break. Keeping it real. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton. Keeping it real. Be right back.
Hello, New Orleans. Let me tell you straight. They did not think we could come and be here tonight. They cut budgets and advertising, but one black man, Rich Newton, said, I don't care. My families come together every 4th of July weekend, and Essence will happen, because that's who we are. Give a big hand to Rich New Dennis for bringing us back. Why do we come? Because the essence of who we are is essential to what made this nation. We built this nation. We made this nation. We created the essential dollars that this nation lives off of. We don't care what bill they pass. We will not back up. We will not back down. We will not give in. We will not be chased out. We don't care who's in the White House. We will organize our house by house. We came over the Middle Passage. We survived slavery. We survived Jim Crow. Don't you give up now. Don't you turn back now. Stand up, black man. Stand up, black woman. Reclaim your dignity. Reclaim your place. So we stand with the Black Global Black Economic Forum. We stand with Essence Magazine because that's who we are. So don't give in now. Yes, there's some rough days, but we've been through rougher days than this. Yes, Trump is a bad dude, but we beat badder dudes than Trump. So let's party with a purpose, because our rhythm and our music reminds us who we are. Because we can smile through our pain and organize for our gain. Let's stand up and let's celebrate who we are. Thank you, God bless you.
1 year ago and change, 67 weeks ago, we started marching every Thursday, am I right, on the offices of Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman was the architect of ending DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. He started it. I want to give a little history because a lot of people get Negroitis and get confusion. I don't even mind your ego. Everybody need one, but you don't have to become contrary and duplicitous. We got to have integrity even among those with ego. So we started when they first came out against DEI. Now Ackman and them started it going at Harvard University, forcing out the first black woman and first black president of Harvard. We went to his office and been going 67 weeks. I went first 10 to 12 weeks. And this brother, stand up, Reverend Ron McHenry, coordinator, House of Justice. This brother has been there every week. Many of you here in the audience have marched every week. So we didn't just get in this. We were in it the day they came at Claudine Guy. Last year's convention, we dealt with DEI. This year, we said that we're going at these corporations that had come out against DEI. Many of you, most of y'all I'm looking at was at the convention. And we hit Pepsi. Pepsi called and said, all right, we 8-9 days in, we agree to meet. And we went, purchased New York. Chairman of our board, Reverend Dr. W. Franklin Richardson, and Carol Wallace, who's a special advisor to us on finance, and laid out to them that one, we don't care what you call it, DEI, IED. Y'all are gonna keep your commitments in terms of the black community. And that means we don't want special privilege, but we do not want to be specially excluded. This is not about we don't want merit. We feel if our people are at the table, we can beat anybody on merit in many cases. So we want from employment to your board, to how you deal with marketing, to who does your financial investment. We want to go across the board with that. Otherwise, if you don't want to deal with the question of diversity in how you do your business, then don't deal with diversity in your consumer base, because you don't believe in diversity. So we just will try to remove all the dollars we can from buying your stuff. In fact, I told the chairman, met with the chairman of the board, met with the CEO. I said, in fact, I learned that not from growing up civil rights, I learned that from Donald Trump. So what do you mean? I said, Donald Trump says he's gonna redo tariffs, that if he doesn't get what he wants for the country, they were gonna raise the tariffs. I'm doing the black tariff reverse. If we don't get what we want, I mean, y'all can't be for Trump and tariff and not be for us in the African American community with a tariff. Come on. We've reduced a lot of our ministry to entertainment. Or who can hoop the loudest, who can run around the pulpit more, or who got the dresses fancy, and don't deal with the ministry. Jesus healed more people than he preached to. Because there is in the healing your message. They followed Jesus because he healed a woman with the issue of blood. They followed Jesus because Jesus saw a blind man named Bartimaeus. A lot of us would have dismissed him because he was a broke, poor, homeless, a blind man. How you know he was broke, Reverend? Because they say he was begging. But he understood what he was doing because he heard that Jesus was passing by. And when Jesus got close enough, he said, Jesus, son of David, come see about me. They kept telling Jesus, let's go, look, we got a schedule, we got people to see. He said it again, Jesus, son of David, come see about me. And when he did it the third time, Jesus stopped and went and healed the blind man. Now, what I get out of that scripture, Bishop Daughtry, is that the blind man told Jesus, if you are who you say you are, you're going to stop and see me. Yes, sir. And if you stop and see me, you will confirm who you are. Yeah. But when we are pastoring and leading in communities with bad health, we cannot be the followers and representatives of Jesus and walk by people that are sick and we not be part of making them well.
You're live.
Do we have Reverend Warren? Hello.
Yes, he's calling now.
Oh, keeping it real.
You're live.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go to Carl, brother Carl in West Palm Beach. Carl.
How you doing, big brother?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
I'm thankful to the Creator. I just wanted to add something. Like when we think about people that reside inside of the state of Florida, and we ask ourselves, what do we do or what our organization do? I've been volunteering now here in Palm Beach County as it relates to education for African-American children. And right now, I don't believe there's a human being inside of all 67 counties that could debate with me as it relates to the repair that is needed for our children in the educational system that has been operating all across America and the understanding of what kind of repair need to be done. And I always, when I hear people talk about reparations, I always think about what we can do to repair ourselves. And, like I stated, I have the history of being the longest volunteer in the history of Palm Beach County.
Wow.
And you can call the superintendent, you can call either one of the board members, anybody in the administration, and all of them tell you that I have a different approach to the reality of us. And it's only because I'm focused on what is necessary for us. But the sad part about it, Al, and we talk about reparations, we never put any resources together for ourselves. For the past 40 years, I've reached out to the Masonic Lodge, I reached out to the NAACP and others, and our politicians and everybody. And I reached out to the black ones, and many times I can't get any kind of response. And we're getting ready for the next fiscal school year, and we find ourselves in the same position. And then again, like I say, I don't believe you could find nobody. You could bring a superintendent, you could bring anybody, and I don't think they have the proper tools that what I have been on this road trying to achieve on behalf of our family and our people. And I'm running at wit's end. I'm always running on fumes because we don't support a proper education, and we don't understand that the education that we've been rendered, the impediments that are inside of that to impede our progress. We look at Tulsa, we look at all of the cities that we formerly had, and we understand why they were bombed and everything else. But I think it's time for us to really take a look at what we could do from our reparations position and with our organization. Because like I say, right now, I'm getting ready to go to school board meeting tomorrow, Al, and I got to catch 3 buses to get there, right? And I'm in my 70s, but I don't mind the fight because I understand what the fight is about. But I wish that y'all knew some people that was in Florida that was interested in the development of education for public education inside of the state of Florida. I wish I could get some help in some kind of way, because it's hard to do the job and then wake up and have to worry about how to get there. to even engage in activity.
Well, I think
So
I think, Carl, I respect and applaud your work and your volunteering and all. And as I said, I'm going to be down there in our tour sometime in late July or August. I think the best way to talk to me about that is when you see me. Saying that over the air is not the way to even approach that. If I have somebody in Florida, I'm not going to say that on the air and give that person.
No, but I'm not saying that, Al. Please forgive me if it was misunderstood.
Okay.
The problem is for those of us who have been here up under the educational system that we're being rendered. And I say it because I do like to sow the seeds. I just try to throw it on everybody because it's not your responsibility. It's ours.
No, but I'm saying I may have some people in Florida that want to help in Florida. But asking me on the air is to maybe expose or make public some contacts that they may not want to be in public. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. And but then
I may not. I don't know. We need to talk about it. But I do know some people in Florida that I think we can get to deal with this education thing.
But my challenge is not just to Florida.
Well, I'm only going by what you said. You said people that want to do something in Florida. That's what you said. I was only addressing what you said.
That's where I'm stationed at. But my challenge is to New York, Chicago, anybody, because all of them are operating up under the same system.
No, I agree.
I believe from our community, we need a voice. And I thank God for allowing me to have some kind of understanding of what that voice needs to be and what that voice needs to say. And when I say that, I don't put no burden on you, me, because I'm not even complaining. I was born to do what I'm doing, so it don't bother me. But when I put that challenge out, I hope that New York and California, everybody will look at their schools, centers, look at their superintendent, and if you feel like you have someone qualified to come in to talk about the reform, the reparation needed for African Americans in the United States, I would love to be in that room, and I believe that I have a lot to offer in trying to repair the true needs of our community. And that's what I meant to say.
All right, thank you for your call. Man. We're joined as we are every Tuesday for the last hour of the show by the senior pastor of the First Corinthian Baptist Church of New York in Harlem and a member of the National Board of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Michael A. Walron. How you doing, Reverend Dr. Walron?
Hey, Reverend Sharpton, how are you today?
I'm doing very well.
Excellent.
Let me ask you, given this whole climate now, we had a call last night of clergy, about 390 pastors from around the country zoomed in, about now that ministers, let me quote it correctly because I corrected it on the Zoom call last night. The IRS, in answering a plaintiff claim by the white evangelical right wing, said that they now allow churches to endorse from the pulpit candidates, not other nonprofits and other 501c3s. But they made this standout or cutout or whatever you want to call it for churches. And one of my concerns, and I'd like your response, and I had on some of the attorneys last night that Jennifer Jones Austin and Alfonso David, as well as from the Center for Constitutional, Maya Wiley, Attorney Maya Wiley, were on with me and Dr. Richardson. My concern is that this could be a Trojan horse in the sense that the language that you can from the pulpit endorse who the church endorses. Well, if you got in your pulpit and you say, I endorse person X, and 10 members raise their hand and say, well, I'm not with that, you're not speaking on behalf of the church, that's a trick bag. Because it didn't say the preacher, it said the church. Does it mean that you can put it in your church bulletin and then people can object? On your broadcast? I mean, there's too much undefined here for me to feel this is some kind of breakthrough when they've been harassing black churches for years. And I think the other part of that that bothers me is that does it set us up for politicians to say, I want your support or I'm not going to support your daycare center, and in many ways take away services, finances that the churches may be doing based on who they endorse?
Yeah, on that last part, Rev, I think in some ways that's happening, right? Just that last part you talked about, this kind of quid pro quo. I think they are already relationships where elected officials look for certain support from clergy with the understanding that they will, support some of their nonprofit arm programming or fund it. That happens a lot now, I would say. So in that regard, I think that's an issue. But what you raised, I think, is a critical issue. What concerns me the most, and you and I, via text, we both are like, not really sure it's a good and a bad. What I'm concerned about, Rev, is that churches can become almost how the way elected officials engage the union. So let's say I decide I'm going to endorse candidate X, and candidate X then says, well, I'm going to give the congregation money with the hope that then I can inspire members to then go work for the candidate, to go get signatures, to go on the streets, to now pass out information. Like, that's where I can see this going. And the problem with that is, of course, is that you have some unscrupulous characters who then find themselves really taking money, whoever you go on to the highest bidder, whatever candidate is going to give you the most or give the congregation the most, somehow that determines who gets the endorsements. I think it's a dangerous, slippery slope that only can work against us. You've already acknowledged, Rev, that in the past, a lot of African-American congregations were the target of a lot of these kinds of efforts for the IRS. And now, I promise you, they'll find a way to target others, especially when it becomes these exchange of finances. There's no way that you can really stop that from happening, where these candidates, these PACs will give churches money, pastors money, not just for the endorsement, but to do the work in some way like the unions do. That's my concern. I think once that happens, then we, more than many white evangelical churches, we will lose our credibility a whole lot more. And it won't just be just those churches who do it, but it'll become a label for all the churches. And that's what I'm concerned about.
No, they'll say it's breaking campaign finance laws. And it's up to whoever is reviewing it or investigating it to decide whether they're going after church A or B, and they won't go after the white evangelical churches. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, Walron, be right back.
Country, talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body, if He woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to the mountaintop. But he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those trapped in the alley. And I hear Brother Martin King say, God has smiled on me. He's been good to me. Let me tell you, God has King went on, another man stepped into the forefront by the name of John F. Kennedy, who rose up and said, let's not stand back. Let's not wait for a handout. Let's wait for a way out. He said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. He said, don't us gravel and don't us moan, because God can smile on us. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Let me say it. God has smiled on me. One more time. I want to say this song. I say God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. Then I went on by backstage at the Apollo Theater and I saw a man come out. They call him the King of Soul, James Brown. And James Brown said, Reverend, don't you worry. I started out as a shoe shine boy. I started out as a convict. I started out uneducated. But I learned to sing my song. And I sung it all over the world. I told him it was a man's world. I told him about the big payback. I told him Papa got a brand new bag. And all over the world, they can hear my voice. But Reverend, don't you frown. Don't you bow your head. Tell him what you told me, Brother Brown. I said, now God has smiled on me. He has set me free. Yeah. He has set me free. God smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Then I went home and I told my mother what Brown told me. And she said, son, even though we don't have much, we don't need relief. All we need is belief. And she said, he didn't tell you no lie, because the Lord will take care of you. God sits high, but he looks down low. And every time you get discouraged, every time you're burdened down, all you have to do is think of the things that God made a way for you and look toward the heavens. Lift your eyes to the hills and say, God, 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 don't smile on me. Now then, the God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God has smiled on me. That has been so good to me. Yes, he has. I say, God smiled on me. He has set me free. And I know all over the country, smile on me. We need jobs. We need a way to make it. We need help. We need jobs. We need a way to make some money to feed our families and raise our bread. We need a way to survive, so we don't need crime as a survival kit. We just need a little bit. But don't give the hope up. Don't lose the faith, because God will smile on you. God will give you the strength. God will make a way for you. Adam Clay Powell said, keep the faith. Keep the faith, baby. I hear Robert Kennedy saying that it's not the dream of, but it's the dream that'll live on forever. Just know that God will smile on you. Dr. King had a dream. Dr. King said, I went to the mountaintop, but I didn't stop there. I looked over and saw the promised land. I hear Brother Malcolm saying, don't sit on the stoop. Stand up and be a man. Respect yourself. Be somebody. Then I hear the brothers in the Hispanic community say, I'm going to stand up and be a man. I'm going to do the best I can. I had a reaper say, I don't care what time you come home, but just give me some respect when you get there. Now God has smiled on me. He has set me free. God smiled on me. It's been so good to me. Sit down. And as we move on in history, let us remember that if we look to God, God has the answer to all of our problems. God is still the same God he was years ago, and we can still make it. We can still hold on like Frederick Douglass did. We can still keep him on like Martin Luther King did. We can still ride on the way everyone that made it did. They didn't have much, but they had a whole lot of faith. They didn't have money, but they had a lot of determination. that God will look out for his children, that God will make a way out of no way. If you just keep the faith and refuse to lose, and God will make a way, because God's children don't have color. God's children just have will. And I can still hear somewhere in my mind James Brown say, God has smiled on me, and he has set me free. Let me sing here. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord. Yeah, Lord. I've been traveling around the country talking to the radio announcers, the church people and the street people, telling them that God has smiled on me. God has smiled on you if you got breath in your body. If he woke you up this morning and started you on your way. But I want to tell you some stories of people that God smiled on. We know the story of Dr. Martin Luther King, how he started way back in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, trying just to get dignity, trying to get respect. And he went all the way to
Reverend Al Sharpton,
but he didn't forget about the brothers in the valley. He didn't forget about those traveling down.
1-877-532-5797, 532-5797. And Reverend Dr. Michael A. Walron is our co-host. Let me ask you, Reverend, one of the things that I think that we have to wrestle with, and some things we have to be delicate because it can go one of several ways. And that is that, and this is really a taken off from our discussion about being careful about being manipulated by the new IRS ruling on the churches. The fact that we have so many churches with different denominations, and I'm not even talking about in the different religions. Certainly, I understand if you got a different denomination in a Christian church than you do in an Islamic mosque or Jewish synagogue or Buddhist temple. But I'm talking about in even the black church, you got thousands of different denominations, some based on doctrinal differences and an interpretation of doctrine, and I accept that, and I agree with that, and some because of the business of it. Some have their own entrepreneurial ambitions. Somehow they're going to govern their congregation. Some are built in a situation where the pastor and or the overseer or bishop of pastors have absolute control, some more democratic. So I think that when we are looking at this ruling with churches, we have to deal with the fact that there's no monolith in the in what is the ambitions or desires of the church, because some of them are after different things for different reasons.
as you said, with the black church is not a monolith. There are many manifestations, which means, as you just put it, Rev, there are many agendas and many, especially when you talk about politics. I think, it's hard to be an African-American religious leader and be apolitical. The nature of the gospel in some interpretations is political. When you start talking about being with the least of these, when you talk about really caring with compassion for those who struggle in our communities, that is a political stand. Making those moves, doing that, although we do it because of our religious or theological slants, it is still a political move, especially in this context. You think about the contemporary context when you see social safety nets being taken away, to actually try to help people who will suffer because of the lack of these social programs. It's a political gesture. I think so that it is hard to determine how each manifestation of our religiosity will engage in this moment, how we will seek to either engage politically or disengage. I think it's going to be an interesting time for us in particular, as you said, Rev, because what I thought about when we went on break was what happens if I decide to endorse a candidate and that candidate now and that candidate gave us resources to help that candidate loses, and the candidate who won now wants some retribution, wants to now come after us. Mm-hmm. Like, it just leads to too many things that can be bad for churches overall, and I'm not a fan of the ruling. I think, and I understand why they push for it, especially the white churches, evangelical church that did it. I get it, but I think for us it can be dangerous, and I'm not saying I'm 100% against, but I'm surely not 100% for it either, and I'm still trying to weigh and think through a lot of things, the legal ramifications, and also what it does for the status and how people perceive our congregations in our communities. There are many narratives out there around black churches and clergy being sellouts, being money hungry,
right,
being charlatans.
Right.
I think that just adds to it if we feed into this, where this can take us.
Absolutely. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to New York. Gee whiz.
Hey, peace to my dear brothers and to this great audience. Unfortunately, very difficult to hear it in New York, New Jersey area. Yeah, Rev, I think it's time that we answer why the Democratic administration, all the way back to Obama, didn't know or did not choose to use all the executive power that we see is being used now. I haven't heard anybody say one mumbling word about what this Elvis impersonator pretending to be president in Washington is doing right now when the Democrats were in. Is it that they didn't know? They didn't know that they could do an executive order to do something for reparations?
Well, you can't.
Start a whole agency?
You cannot do a executive order on reparations. You cannot do an executive order on reparations. And there was some executive orders that Obama and Biden did. And I think that if you look at the executive orders of Trump, he cannot make executive orders that would cost the government multi-billions of dollars without it passing Congress. So when the reparations bill then picked up from John Conyers by Sheila Jackson Lee went forward, I was there on the stage when Biden signed the executive order for George Floyd, and Sheila Jackson Lee said to him about the reparations bill. He said, "You've drafted legislation and we'll push it through." And of course, it was voted down before it ever got to the floor by the Republicans. But there's no legal way to do an executive order on reparations.
In all due respect, I'm not talking about any money at all. I'm talking about the same type of order that put the dogs in place with the muskrats, that they're getting access to millions and billions of dollars right?
What do you?
with one
Wait a minute.
stroke of a pen.
You got to be specific. What do you mean? Putting the dogs in. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about this this agency that was started through executive order.
What agency?
Biden could have made an executive order
What
and made
agency?
Reverend Sharpton
What agency?
the reparations agency. Right? He could have did that.
No, he cannot take an executive order and form an agency to deal with government money.
He just did it. He just made
who just
this
did it?
DOGE organization.
He did a DOG to determine whether there was waste in government, not to distribute money in government.
We're not talking about distributing money.
You're
We're
talking
talking
about
investigating what is it that African Americans
to distribute money. The objective of that would be to give away money.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
All right.
Reparations does not only deal with getting money. It deals with.
Go ahead.
It deals with us finding out who is entitled, what happened to us, why it happened,
and
making sure it never happens again.
And that's what Sheila Jackson Lee and John Conyers proposed, that we have a reparations, first starting with a study to find out what we wanted to be, which is what did not pass Congress.
Right, that's what they should have done with executive order.
And they could not do it because involved in it will be some kind of monetary funds. We don't want reparations where money is not going to be discussed. Thank you for your call. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Walron, be right back.
Hello, New Orleans. Let me tell you straight. They did not think we could come and be here tonight. They cut budgets and advertising, but one black man, Rich Newton, said, I don't care. My families come together every 4th of July weekend, and Essence will happen, because that's who we are. Give a big hand to Rich New Dennis for bringing us back. Why do we come? Because the essence of who we are is essential to what made this nation. We built this nation. We made this nation. We created the essential dollars that this nation lives off of. We don't care what bill they pass. We will not back up. We will not back down. We will not give in. We will not be chased out. We don't care who's in the White House. We will organize our house by house. We came over the Middle Passage. We survived slavery. We survived Jim Crow. Don't you give up now. Don't you turn back now. Stand up, black man. Stand up, black woman. Reclaim your dignity. Reclaim your place. So we stand with the Global Black Economic Forum. We stand with Essence Magazine because that's who we are. So don't give in now. Yes, there's some rough days, but we've been through rougher days than this. Yes, Trump is a bad dude, but we beat badder dudes than Trump. So let's party with a purpose, because our rhythm and our music reminds us who we are. Because we can smile through our pain and organize for our gain. Let's stand up and let's celebrate who we are. Thank you, God bless you.
33-year-old preacher without a church.
A number of black New Yorkers as well. He is little more than a pudgy exhibitionist who can be counted on to show up, bullhorn in hand, at every racial incident.
I often quote Mark Twain saying, the two most important moments in life is the moment you are born and the moment you find out why you were born. I had a very troubling conversation the other day that prompted me to do this little video. Young man that I've known a while came to me and he was crushed. I mean, really crushed, because people were criticizing his work. He's in the ministry, but he's also an actor. And he said he couldn't understand why people were jumping all over, criticizing him, trying to find scandalous and derogatory things about him. And I told him, I said, you know, you very young. You don't know the road I've traveled. They called me everything but a child of God.
A blabbermouth, a loudmouth, too flamboyant, an agitator, a racist,
I had to learn.
Yeah, right.
I was not defined by how others saw me. I was defined by how I saw myself and whether I was being true to myself. Some of you watching this don't like me. And it doesn't matter as long as I know what I'm doing. And I like me for being real. So I'm doing this video to say to you, whoever you are and whatever you do, you may not be in ministry or social justice, none of this stuff, but don't live your life worried about opposition or people that don't like you. You can turn that around. Use me as an example. The same people that call me a scam artist, a con artist, a sellout, or racial hustling, I kept going. And the people I respected started respecting and publicly embracing my work.
When Coretta Scott King, the widow of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., had this to say about Al Sharpton.
A leader who has protested injustice with a passionate, unrelenting commitment to nonviolent action in the spirit and tradition of Martin Luther King Jr. And I am talking about your leader, our leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton.
The other thing that hasn't changed is the National Action Network's commitment to fight injustice and inequality here in New York City and across America. And that's not only a testament to Reverend Sharpton, it's a testament to all of you who are here tonight.
First and foremost, to Reverend Sharpton. I saw him when he first came on the scene, and I have marveled at his tenacity, at the development of his intellect, and his devotion to our movement, and much he has contributed to the world we are experiencing. I am honored, and I must say that when I had my debate with Dr. King on the issue of the church and religion, he didn't warn me that after his departure, his space would be filled by another preacher, and that preacher would be Al Sharpton.
All you want in life is people that matter to you to say you did all right. And more important, that you can look in the mirror and say you did all right.
Thank you, Rev. Thanks for that introduction. Look, we've known each other for a long time. I'm grateful not only for your leadership and partnership, but quite frankly, more importantly, for your friendship. And thanks to all of you, members of our nation's most important civil rights organization.
You have been
Reverend Al Sharpton and Reverend Michael A. Walron is our co-host. Don't forget, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday, every Saturday and Sunday. And I'm already, well, you're going to really be surprised with this weekend show. Make sure you tune in both nights. Got some exciting guests and some deep, deep issues we want to deal with. Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. And, of course, you that are in the New Jersey, Connecticut, New York area, meet me or beat me to the Saturday Action Rally at the House of Justice, 145th Street and Lenox Avenue in the village of Harlem at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You that are not in the New York area, you can watch it live on Impact Television or at www.nationalactionnetwork.net on our live stream. We do the broadcast on our live stream. Also, all roads lead to the August 28th March on Wall Street, and I'm very happy many people are involved, organizing. You that want to just get the information so you can share it or be part of it or know where buses leaving from in your area of the country, sign up at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. It was interesting to me the other day. Guy looked like maybe in his late 40s, early 50s, white, male, well-dressed, walked over to me and said, I hear you're getting ready to have a march on Wall Street. And I kind of said, yeah, waiting, okay, what's this going to be? He said, I don't understand why y'all haven't been doing that. There haven't been a real way of confronting on Wall Street and the guys that have made the money off of these cuts and off of these tax breaks. I don't know what took y'all so long. This white guy. I said, really? And we chatted a little, and I got ready to walk away with the people that were with me. And I said, by the way, what do you do? He said, I'm a lawyer. I said, where? He said, on Wall Street. That's why I know what I'm talking about. So both of us busted out laughing. So it is, even they know that they've been given a free ride. And again, marching doesn't solve problems. Marching exposes the problem. And if we put thousands of people out there on August 28th, and we will, people will start to think, yeah, wait a minute. They are making the money right there on Wall Street. Yeah, wait a minute. And they're not dealing with these issues. They're just going to work every day, running up stocks, cutting all kind of deals, and we're riding the train past them, riding the bus past them, like they're not there. And they're the ones that are benefiting and financing Trump to stay in power and Trump's minions. So it's time to put some exposure on them. So go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and sign up. Reverend Dr. Walron, what's going on at FCBC?
Well, you know, Rev, this is our summer Sabbath, but we do have something coming next month. It is our Hope for Harlem weekend. We've been doing this now for 6 years, and we've expanded it to not just on a Saturday, which is the 23rd of August, but now including the 22nd Friday. So Friday will be our food pantry extravaganza. We'll be giving out groceries, bag groceries, food, meals, you call it. It'll be huge, larger than our regular food pantry on Fridays. And so that is going to be on August 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then we have our large Hope for Harlem, basically like a block party, on August 23rd from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. on 116th Street. There'll be people who'll be folks who are looking for jobs. You can come. People who are looking for supplies for the children, you can come. Everything will be free. Food. There'll be activities for all ages. There'll be stations there for wellness stations. You name it, Rev. We've been doing it for 6 years. It's a big deal, but we now have 2 days, August 22nd and August 23rd. August 22nd, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., food pantry extravaganza, and August 23rd, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. at the block party on 116th Street.
All right, let's go to Rufus in Georgia. Rufus. Is Rufus there? I do not hear Rufus. Let me go to.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Go,
Yes.
go,
Yes.
go ahead.
Oh yeah. I ain't doing very well. Yeah. I was remembering a conversation me and you had about 5 months ago. I was telling you something about Donald Trump. They had signed something about religious freedom, and I believe this is coming back around with this new thing. Is that she got the the church. You want to get the churches. You ain't thinking about the black churches. You already know the black churches. Ain't nobody with no real black church gonna go in here. You already know that. So what this is aiming at white churches. So when they get ready to set up their own, their state religion, they gonna have it because they gonna try it. Believe me, you.
All right. Thank you for your call. Let me read off of our live stream. James Thomas says some folks have to know that in order for Doge to be an agency, it needs to be passed by Congress, and Republicans don't even do that. That's why what Doge did was unlawful, and it was brought to court and found to be so. I think that one of the things, Reverend Walron, is that a lot of people that make noise and don't really study what they're making noise about. So we sometimes have the right goal, right idea, but haven't thought about how we really want to get it done. And the easy way out is say, well, I don't care about the process. We need to just make it happen. And I used to say that when I was a young activist. But if you really care about making it happen, you'll make it happen whether you can go through the process or around the process. But the question is, are you trying to make it happen, or are you trying to just, make noise? And I think that's a lot of, and you're going to get that in the churches, you're going to get that in organizations, you're going to get that on radio. A lot of people, that's why, I read people say on the message boards, I hear what people say on there, and I can say in my own head, a lot of people are very sincere, just misinformed. A lot of people are very well informed, and even if I disagree with them, they know what they're talking about. And a lot of people just want to hear their own voice.
Absolutely, Rev. I think, you hit on something I was going to say based on that last caller. I think, too, I understand his caller's frustration. I think that we've seen in years past, Democrats have played, I guess, nice politics, and Republicans play power politics. I guess that may be a good comparison.
Right.
And I think sometimes we want to see the Democrats use the power that they have, not illegally, not unlawfully like we've seen being done now in D.C., but to use the power they have to really put this country on a corrective course that's in alignment with certain values and in alignment with many of us, I think. So bottom line is whoever's in power should they end up using the power. Republicans have no problem using their power to pound their agenda through.
Right.
And Democrats don't have a history of doing that. But secondly, going to what you just said, I think sometimes in our frustration, our angst, we make comparisons of apples and oranges, like you just demonstrated. Comparing what has to take place, reparations, is not the same thing as Doge, right? And so sometimes, as you said, Rev, our anger, our frustration has to also be shaped by our knowledge and understanding how things work, how things happen. I think about that here in even New York. I'm not declaring who should be the mayor or whatever, but I think sometimes we fall victim to promises that are not steeped in what can happen politically or what can happen in reality. It happens across. Every candidate who runs for office sometimes does this.
Right.
Put promises in front of the people that are not steeped in possibility, right? There's some things the president can't do, no matter. For example, I saw the other day he was mad at Rosie O'Donnell, saying he's going to take away her citizenship.
Right.
She is a born United States citizen. You can't do that, but you put it out there and people get in an uproar. For what? So our knowledge of what can and can't be done will help us and temper our frustrations, Rev.
And that's probably why I'm very careful, and I wasn't always as careful when I was much younger, to not say something that you can't do, even if folk get mad at you, because there may be two people mad at you and 20,000 listening to radio saying, he know he can't do that. Why is he doing that?
Right.
So you might as well be straight up. Thank you, Reverend Dr. Michael A. Ron, let me thank all of you that called in, listened in, you that called in and couldn't get through, but hung in there anyhow. Remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, however you feel, tell somebody, tell anybody, tell everybody. Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Keep it real.
What we got, Reverend?
Breaking news. The issues